I am live. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. I am Jenny Mitich. We haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks. It's been kind of crazy, but we're back home. As you can see, back to my beautiful home. So exciting. So today I first wanted to go over just a few housekeeping things, a new August challenge for our group, how you can get signed up to participate in that. We're going to talk about some cool things that are coming up, and then we're going to move into your viewer questions. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comment section, and I will get to them after I do all of our housekeeping. We've done this before. It's a similar setup, so same thing. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comments so I can take care of any audio issues that we have right away. And what else? Oh, let me know where you're watching from. I love to see, all of my people, where they're watching from. It's usually all over the world, so that's super fun. Okay, let's get into the housekeeping stuff, and then we will answer some questions. First off, I am home. We are home for good. I was down in South Carolina for about a month. I was the primary caregiver for a family member, so I was not here. It was very stressful, but it is over and done now. Everything is good. My family member is on the up and up, and I am back home with my family. So it's very, very nice to finally be here. Next up, a new channel. I'm launching a second channel, and it is called Jenny Mitich, etc. It's launching on Saturday, August 10th. And this is going to be more vlog style, behind the scenes content. So if that's something that you're into, I have put a link in the description of this live so that you can get signed up. Be sure to subscribe and hit notifications so that you will be notified whenever I release a new video over there. There's going to be 2 fresh videos released on Saturday, August 10th. And then after that, there will be 1 video a week. I may increase that to 2 videos per week, but it just depends on, life, scheduling, all that jazz. All right. I'm really excited for that channel. It's going to be super, super fun. If you have been watching this channel since the beginning, I actually used to have, it was more of a twin mom lifestyle focus until I started doing the carnivore diet, and I had a couple of videos just really kind of blow up. And then this channel has now evolved into just a carnivore focused channel, which is totally fine. I love it. I love learning. I love sharing everything that I learn with you guys. But I also, wanted to share a little bit more of all the other stuff that goes into my life, because it's not just carnivore. Tons of fun stuff going on behind the scenes. So that is that channel. Link is in the description of this live. Let's see. Next up, what is the next thing? A new challenge. It's August 1st, guys. And we have a new challenge for August. If you didn't know, I have a carnivore community, the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community. And every month or two, we are doing just some sort of new challenge. It's not ever like super regimented, like 75 hard or like anything like that. But I like to come up with just, motivational things that you can do to keep it together on carnivore, to get that, moving in the right direction. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm very tired. Anyways, the August challenge. I want you to pick one thing that you want to focus on for the month of August, and I want you to commit to it for the entire month. So that can be really anything that you're struggling with or that you would like to focus a little bit harder on. For me, I'm going to focus on strength training and walking 3 to 4 days per week. I, was gone for a month. So I really only did a few strength training workouts when I was home. The couple of times that I was home, I ended up doing some strength training workouts, but I was not consistent enough. I barely did any walking. I was walking a lot at the hospital, like inside the hospital, but not my normal walks. So for the month of August, I am committing to 3 to 4 days a week of strength training along with my walks. I'd really like to do daily walks, but I don't want to overwhelm myself either, because August is going to be a really busy month. So I think 3 to 4 days a week of, 2 to 3, maybe 4-mile walks is more than enough for me to feel like I've accomplished this challenge. So if you would like to be a part of this challenge, we are doing this over in the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community. In the description of this live, there are 2 links, a link to the free and a link to the premium. I always want everybody to be able to do the challenges and things like that. So the free link will just get you in so that you can do the challenge. You can have some community, some accountability, some support. And then the premium link, you have access to every single space within the group. There are recipes, daily meals, discussion tabs, questions. We do live streams and Zoom calls over there for the premium members. So much fun stuff going on over there. And we have a really solid group of people. I think it's up to about 450 people over there. So if you would like to do the August challenge with me and an amazing group of carnivore, keto people, head over to either of those links and give it a shot. So what's the final thing I wanted to talk about? I've also updated my one-on-one coaching hours for the first half of August. So if you would like to schedule a time it's 30 minutes to talk to me, go through your diet, figure out any kind of issues you're having, troubleshooting, things like that, we can do that. Schedule a time through the link in the description. It's under the one-on-one coaching calls. I am very excited. That's honestly one of my favorite things, is getting to talk to you one-on-one. So if that's something you would like, you can schedule the call through that link. And I think that is all of the housekeeping related stuff there. So I wanted to move into some questions. As I said, I am using a new streaming software. This is called StreamYard. So I'm going to be able to pop these comments up on the screen. If you have any questions related to the carnivore diet, any comments, any successes, if you are, if you've lost a ton of weight over the past few months on carnivore, or you've improved your metabolic health in some way, please let me know that as well. And get those questions over there, because we are going to be getting started. Judy says, coming through good. She is in Arizona. Hello, Judy. Welcome. Matthew, hello from Maryland. Carnivore for about 60 days and down 25 pounds. That is amazing. Amazing work. 60 days. You're still very young in the carnivore and you are just getting that weight off. Amazing. All right, Lindsay says, is the CC open to over 60s who are thinking of going carnivore from the UK? Yeah, the carnivore community is open to anybody of any age, anywhere in the world. I think for our friends that are overseas, like yourself, we try to do the live streams and the live Zoom calls at different times so that the time change doesn't affect it. I know we have some members that are in Australia. So when we are doing live streams, I think typically in either the evening or the afternoon, it's like morning there. So we do try to kind of switch it up a bit so that everybody can get some time. All right. If you want to join the community, you can head over to the links in the description. The premium, you can give it a shot. There's a 3-day free trial before signing up. And the free, you just, get access to the challenges. So Jen says, hello, everyone. Hello, Jen. Good to see you. Always awesome to talk to you in the live streams. And it says StreamYard is awesome. I moderate a lot of live streams and they all use it. It really, here's the thing. I've had this on my list for probably the past, 6 months to learn how to use StreamYard. And I've got a bunch of interviews with carnivore experts coming up. And I was like, I really need to, get in the game and really focus on that. So I went over to StreamYard and signed up for it. And it's literally plug and play. It's the easiest streaming software on the planet. It took 2 seconds to get signed up. And now I'm just kind of like kicking myself because I should have done it sooner. But you know how it goes. You don't know until you know. So, all right. We have another question from Tina. Is it safe to take Ozempic and do carnivore? Yes, I would say yes to that question. So one of the things with Ozempic is you have to make diet and lifestyle changes along with the medication if you want to have lasting results. Because if you don't, then the minute you stop taking it, you're going to gain all the weight back. And one of the problems with Ozempic and all of those other GLP-1 inhibitors or whatever they are, is you lose a lot of lean mass. So you're not just losing fat, you're also losing a lot of muscle. And if and when you stop taking it, if you have not been strength training, eating enough protein, things like that, you could be in worse off shape in the long term than you were in the beginning, even if you've lost weight. I personally think that you should do carnivore first before doing Ozempic if you haven't already started, because you can have the same results without the side effects with carnivore. But if you are doing Ozempic now, totally fine. I think it is good for some people to take it. It is indicated for some people, especially those with type 2 diabetes. It can be very helpful. And yeah, of course, you can definitely do carnivore with Ozempic. Lindsay says it is 20 hours now. Oh, okay. So it's not too bad. Not too bad of a time difference. All right, Rachel Day. I am almost 4 months in, down 26 pounds as of this morning. Congratulations. That is amazing. And I love hearing these stories. If you are just joining us, be sure to add any of your carnivore diet related questions. It doesn't necessarily just have to be about carnivore. If I can answer it, I will definitely try or get you in the right direction. And just put your comment in and I will try to answer it. Just Me says, hi from Tennessee. Been doing carnivore for 5 months. No weight loss or gain. Should I up protein or fat? Doing 140 of each at the moment. I'm assuming 140 grams. Okay, great question. There's a lot to dive into with that question. First off, the scale is our worst enemy as far as like measurement tools. So I would ask, have you taken measurements and the measurements haven't changed at all? How is your clothing fitting? Are you able to fit into clothing better? Are you fitting into sizes that are, less than what you were originally? And then I would also want to know, how are you feeling physically? Are you feeling better? Are some of the symptoms that you were trying to improve, have those improved? For some people, when they go on carnivore, they can just maintain. And that's because something else is going on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily know. Some people gain weight when they start carnivore. Sometimes people have been chronically under eating for years and their body is starved for nutrients. So when they start to eat all of this nutrient dense food, their body just gloms onto it. It's just like, so there's a few things with that. I would want to know, how much do you currently weigh? What is your ideal weight? What kind of physical activity, if any, are you doing? How's your sleep? How's your stress? And then I would want to know, excuse me, I would also want to know what version of carnivore you're doing. Excuse me, I had a throat tickle. Are you including a lot of dairy in your version of carnivore? Because I would first recommend cutting that. That's usually a big problem for a lot of people in the beginning. So yeah, lots and lots of questions there related to that question. Next question. Okay. Hello, I have ulcerative colitis and I'm seriously thinking of starting carnivore. Greetings from Portugal. Greetings. Beautiful country. I have not been there yet. I've spent a lot of time in Spain, which is adjacent. Ulcerative colitis, yes, there are lots and lots of people that have seen improvements in their symptoms going carnivore. I think for you, it might be worth it to ease into it a little bit. I don't know if you've gotten started yet, but sometimes it's good to start by kind of getting rid of all the crap food out of the diet and focusing more on consuming fatty meats and a lot more, protein and fat, and then a little bit of veg, maybe a little bit of low sugar fruit, and kind of transfer over from the ultra processed foods over to the whole foods, and then slowly start reducing the carbs while you are increasing the protein and fat. That can be kind of make the transition a bit easier, especially with that particular condition. Alice, I keep failing and can't stay pure carnivore. I could use help. Been trying for 6 months, lost 20 pounds, and then put 10 back on, eating 1 or 2 meals with some carbs, but lost 2 inches on my waist. Okay, great. Not great that you're having issues. I am sorry to hear that, but let's see what we can do here. There's so many things. There's so many things we could do with this one. Um, why do you feel like you have been failing? Sugar cravings? Have you not been full enough? Have you been getting bored? um there's so many different reasons why we can, fall off the wagon, and just understand and know that that's totally normal. It happens to everybody. What I do when I fall off the wagon, which honestly doesn't really happen much anymore, usually I plan cheat meals, and my cheat meals are like, I'm adding vegetables or something. Anytime I do a super high carb cheat meal, I haven't done that since April, because every time I do, I feel like crap afterwards, like physically, and the inflammation is just out of control. I think once you've been on this, done this way of eating for long enough, your body starts to reject that other food because it's not really food, the ultra processed stuff, I mean. So I think addressing kind of the root cause concerns as to why you're having a hard time on carnivore can be helpful. Really defining your whys, why you want to do this in the first place, and then giving yourself some grace, maybe committing to just one day at a time or 30 days at a time, and then reevaluating. I think a big thing with carnivore for a lot of people staying consistent is that they're doing it alone. Having some community can be really helpful with that. I have a carnivore community. Links are in the description for both free and premium, but there's tons of other, content creators out there that have amazing communities. Carnivore Doctor, Steak and Butter Gal. I think Dr. Chafee has one. I think Dr. Ken Berry has one. Everybody has a carnivore community, so it might be worth it to figure out which community works best for you, and getting yourself in there, and being able to talk through these things, or having some accountability. That can be really, really helpful in the beginning of carnivore for sure. Okay, Mike, I tried to download the carnivore shopping list and was asked for a 4-digit code. Where do I get the code? So that's on Instagram. For everyone that doesn't know, I have a free grocery list and a free meal plan. So I don't know if you've sent me a message, Mike. I'm going to check right now to see. You just send me a message on Instagram and I will send you the code. Easy as that. And if I'm assuming you've already been on Instagram, so yeah, just send me a message. But if there's somebody out there that doesn't have Instagram, you can send me an email and I can send you the hard copies of those too. All right. Christine says June was 2 years on carnivore. Congratulations. Autoimmune disease and severe pain was the reason. Great for pain and energy. Highest weight was 240, now 197. Homestead, 8 hours of outside work, chronic diarrhea. Are you still experiencing chronic diarrhea at this point in carnivore? I would like to know that. Jen, gastroparesis is flaring right now, so my gastrologist and dietitian told me to stick to a liquid diet. I am now on the keto chow diet. How is that working out for you, Jen? Keto chow is great. Dale, Jenny Mitich, do you watch Guga Foods? Yes, I love Guga. I love all of his steak cooking. It's wonderful. Alice says, I crave different flavors. I do feel inflamed. Yeah, going off, I instantly feel inflamed when I have a cheat meal. So a high carb cheat meal, I can have vegetables. I can have a little bit of fruit if I'm having a cheat meal like that. But if I was to eat in April, I ate a pizza, half of a pizza with my husband in Chicago, and I regretted it because I was inflamed for like 3 weeks afterwards. Okay, crave different flavors. So boredom, I feel like that is pretty common, especially in the beginning of carnivore. I would say mix it up a little bit. Here on YouTube, there are so many wonderful recipes that you can do so many things. I mean, just on my channel alone, I have probably 10 different recipe videos and more to come. So I would recommend, you know, trying out some different recipes. I think 90% of the time I'm doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or some sort of like grilled meats or something. And that can get a bit boring. I'm kind of a boring eater, so I enjoy that for the most part, but I know it can get boring out there for a lot of people. So I would say just Google carnivore recipes, or like take your favorite recipe. Like say maybe you love lasagna or something, and you can search carnivore lasagna recipes and you can find a way to make that recipe fully carnivore. That can be really fun, figuring out like replacement recipes for your favorite dishes. Stephen, hello. Hello. I am new to the diet, 3 weeks into carnivore, lost 23 pounds. Very nice. But I'm struggling to hit my protein intake. What are your thoughts on beef isolate protein powders to hit my requirements? I always think that it's best to get your protein from whole food sources just because it's more bioavailable and it's what exists in nature. But if you're having a hard time hitting your goals, I don't know what your goals are, but usually, at least the way I in general recommended is 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So for me, I try to get a minimum of 130 grams of protein per day because that's what I would like to weigh, 130 pounds. But that's just kind of it's a starting point. You know, some days I get a little less, some days I get a little more, some days I get a ton more. It just depends. But yeah, I mean, you're still really early into the carnivore diet. So I would just say give your body a bit more time and try to increase the amount of protein that you're consuming every day. But if you want to give a protein powder a try, go right ahead. Just make sure you're reading the ingredients labels. Make sure you keep it like as low, like the smallest ingredient list possible. You want to make sure it's coming from a high quality source, no added flavors or colorings or, you know, things like that, fillers. The thing with protein powders is it can hit your bloodstream pretty quick. And it can have kind of a glucose effect. So I don't know if you use a CGM or you do anything like that. You could, you know, experiment with different ones to see how they affect you. But yeah, I think in general, it's fine for the short term, just to get you there. If you are like drastically below your goal, if you're close to it, it's okay, I think. So you use it at your discretion. Mark, so true. Had a nice piece of birthday cake and it churned in my stomach. Yes. Once you've been carnivore for even a month or two and you go back to an ultra processed food cheat meal, you will feel it. All right. Dale says, how much salt should I add to 1 glass of water? 1 8-ounce glass of water, I should say. So I would say minimum half a teaspoon. And I think you don't want to just use any kind of salt. I think an unrefined salt is what you want because it has all of the minerals in it. They have not been removed. Salt has not been bleached or anything like that. A Celtic sea salt is really good. There's a brand called Celtic sea salt. You can get it on Amazon. It's a little moist. That's just the brine from the seawater. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not bleached. It's kind of a gray color. That's going to have tons of different minerals in it that we require for optimal health. So I don't know, half a teaspoon. I've read from a few different books. I have a book here called Salt Your Way to Health, and he recommends 1.5 teaspoons of Celtic salt per day in general. If you're doing some sort of electrolytes, that's a starting point. That's a minimum. If you're doing an electrolyte brand of some kind, you can do that as well. But I think for 8-ounce glass of water, it just depends on how much you can endure the salty taste. You know, half a teaspoon might be enough. A teaspoon might be too much. Who knows? Matthew says, Guga is awesome. I concur. Okay, so this is back to still having diarrhea after 2 years on carnivore. Okay, so head over. I don't know if you've watched Judy Cho at all, Nutrition with Judy here on YouTube, but she thinks, and many experts think, that after about 6 months on carnivore, if you've been doing everything right, if you've been carnivoring harder, nothing seems to be affecting that, and you're still having severe issues like that with diarrhea, then it's not the diet. There's something else going on. There's a root cause issue that is not addressed. It could be chronic CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome. It could be something autoimmune or something like that. She has so many good videos that can help you get to the root issue. I don't know if perhaps there's a mold issue or something like that. That's always possible. But I would say digging deeper for that root cause issue is going to be the next step for you, Christine, unfortunately, because 2 years on carnivore and you haven't really been cheating at all. You've been doing everything right. Something else is going on. It could be a gut issue. Just so many things it could be. So many things it could be. Okay. Jen says on her liquid diet with keto chow, second day, and so far so good. Good. I'm glad you have found something that is helpful. All right. Here's a question. I have been considering doing a BBB&E challenge. What are your thoughts on different seasonings during this? I love BBB&E. I did a BBB&E challenge last August. I have a whole video on it where I go through my blood work and all that stuff before and after. It was super fun. And that is how I eat most of the time in my daily life. As far as seasonings, I think seasonings for most people are fine on carnivore. It depends on your whys. Why are you doing carnivore in the first place? If you are coming to carnivore because you have some inflammation, you have a little bit of weight to lose, you just want general metabolic health improvements, but you don't have any known food sensitivities or severe autoimmune conditions, or like a lot of people come to carnivore very sick. But if you're coming to carnivore, not as sick, but just kind of general health improvements, I think you can use spices just fine. I use garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika. I'll use obviously salt. Salt doesn't count. Everyone can use salt. Sometimes some pepper. I've been shifting from black pepper to white pepper because black pepper has a lot of oxalates in it, but a little tiny bit isn't the end of the world. So I think you just kind of have to take a look at the different seasonings and figure out what works best for you. In my daily life, every single day I'm using salt on my meat. And then if I'm doing a steak, maybe half the time I'll add garlic powder and salt, and that's it. That's all I'm using. So yeah, I think seasonings can be fine. You don't overdo it. It's like, how much are you really using in a seasoning? It's usually just a tiny little sprinkle. Dale says, what do I use to tenderize tough meats? I honestly, I'm not the best person to ask this question to, because all I use for my cooking is salt and garlic powder. Some people pound the meat to tenderize it. Some people, I don't know. I don't ever tenderize my meat. So I don't know the answer to that question. Does anyone out there have an answer to that? Because I am a failure with that question. New question. Opinion on protein shakes. Protein is sweetened by stevia leaf with minimal ingredients. Again, with protein, I think that is up to the user. What are your goals with it? I always err on the side of getting your protein in with whole food sources, with meat sources. But if you're using a really high quality beef protein isolate, that's okay. If you absolutely need to get a ton more protein in. As far as stevia, some people can use artificial sweeteners and be completely fine on carnivore. I don't think you get your carnivore card taken away if you are consuming some artificial sweeteners. For me personally, I drink the Element sparkling water. The watermelon and the black cherry lime are my two favorites. I'll have maybe one of those a day right now because it's really hot out. That has stevia in it. It does not affect me negatively in any way. It doesn't give me sugar cravings or anything like that. But for some people, that would activate, some sugar craving stuff, and they can't do it. I personally, if I'm using artificial sweeteners in a recipe, I will use allulose. There's a lot of good research out there on allulose. It can actually lower blood glucose levels, where some artificial sweeteners can spike it. So I think you just have to use your discretion and see if it works best. It works well for you. If you're, having good results and you are feeling good using protein powder sweetened with stevia with minimal ingredients, then go for it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right. Kenneth. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm taking it slow, transitioning into this lifestyle. Jen, you have been extremely helpful with your educational videos. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy them. I enjoy making them. I enjoy learning, and I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. I think transitioning into carnivore is smart for a lot of people. There's some people that just need to go cold turkey, and I did that for myself. But looking back, I really wish I had transitioned slower to carnivore, because I had about 4 to 6 weeks of keto flu. And now that I've been reading a ton more on the topic, I actually think it wasn't just keto flu. I think I had a lot of oxalate dumping. I just read Sally Norton's book, Toxic Superfoods. I will link it in the description, but it's excellent. It's such a good read. I'd really like to sit down and talk to her sometime. And I went through the list of the high oxalate foods, because I'm like, I wasn't really eating that many. And lo and behold, I actually was. And looking through the symptoms and things, I think I did a lot of oxalate dumping because I went cold turkey, and just went from lots of oxalates down to nothing. So that's been really interesting to learn. So I think transitioning into the lifestyle is smart for sure. Christine, years of acid reducers, problems digesting. Strict carnivore can't seem to break out in hives. Yes, I've seen Judy's videos, downloaded guidelines, nothing worked. I was on autoimmune diet in 2018. Wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating. Have you used, I'm assuming you've used, HCl supplements and all of the ox bile and all that kind of stuff too, to try to work on that. Jen says, I made an entire package of bacon jerky and then was told to do the liquid diet. I hope it stays good in the fridge. I think so. I think jerky holds for a period of time. I mean, how long do you have to do the liquid diet for? Just until your symptoms improve, or did they give you an amount of time? All right, folks, we're at the bottom of the questions list. If you have a question for me, please get it in there. If you have a success story that you would like to share with the group, we love hearing those. Anything like that. Dale says, are potatoes bad for you? Who started saying potato skins are good for you? Okay, so potatoes are pretty high in oxalates. Oxalates are phytotoxins or plant toxins. So I would say no, potatoes are not good for you. They've got they pack a lot of punch as far as calories. If that's all you have to eat, you're going to eat it, right? But I don't know who started saying potato skins are good for you. I can say that, potato skins with sour cream and cheese and bacon on top are delightful, but I will not be eating them anymore because I can't do it. Paula, thank you for coming to my rescue, Paula, about the tenderizing meat question, because I had no answer to that. I have heard that preparing meat with the sous vide method tenderizes it. And I have also heard that. I think that is a really good suggestion, Paula. Thank you. Mark Matthews says, what is oxalate dumping? Here, let me grab, I don't have it with me. Okay, oxalates are a type of plant toxin. So you've got lectins, oxalates, there's tons of other plant toxins. So basically, plants can't run away like animals can. Animals can defend themselves by just like running away. Plants, they're stuck in one spot. So the way that they defend themselves against invaders or people that want to eat them, animals, whatever, is through phytotoxins, plant toxins. Oxalates are one of them. There's like 3 or 4 different types. There's like oxalate crystals, oxalate salts, and all that kind of stuff. They're basically just like these sharp crystals that, kind of create irritation in your body to try to get you to avoid eating the plant. And not every plant has oxalates in them. There are high oxalate plants and low oxalate plants. If you would like to learn more about it, the preeminent expert in that field is Sally Norton. And her book, Toxic Superfoods, is awesome. Very easy to read. It's not super sciencey or anything like that. Great user guide. And I think the biggest offenders for high oxalate foods are spinach, almonds, cashews, chocolate. Kale is actually not a high oxalate food. It kind of gets some flack, but it's a lower oxalate vegetable. Some fruits that are really high in oxalates are kiwi, star fruit, raspberries, and blackberries. And there's a whole bunch of other ones. Sweet potatoes are a huge, huge, huge oxalate offender. So yeah, it's really interesting when you pull the curtain back on some of these things. You're like, oh, I thought sweet potatoes were fine. That's what I used to think. Nope, they are not. They are not. Rana, I have been eating dill pickles every now and then. What are your thoughts? I'm on day 62 of carnivore with pickles every now and then, down 30 pounds now. I love watching your vids. Congratulations on the weight loss. I don't think pickles are a big deal. I'll have a pickle once in a blue moon. You know, if it's working for you, it's working for you. If it wasn't, I would just say, you know, cut them, but you're losing weight, you're feeling good. I don't think it's a big deal. My whole thing with carnivore is it's what's more important is what you're doing 95% of the time. You know what I mean? If you're going to have a pickle here, some onions there, a little bit of garlic, is that really the end of the world? That's not what got you to the point in your life where you were like, oh, I need to go carnivore. It was all the ultra processed stuff, the added sugar, the vegetable seed oils. I don't think we need to be perfect all the time. And if you're having a pickle, go right ahead. Pickles are delightful. Pickles are delightful. Ginger. Hi, Jenny. Didn't know you were going live today. Hi from Midland, Texas. Good to see you. Yeah, I had to change the date and time on this live several times because I was sick. I got home from South Carolina with my family member and my kids were sick. I was hoping to avoid it. I got sick the next day. So I'm just now feeling better today so that I could do that. Jen says she's just doing the liquid diet until her symptoms improve. Cool. Rock and roll. Hopefully that will improve soon. Dale asks, do you eat cheese and what is your favorite? So I love dairy. I love cheese, but I do not eat it often because it gives me a couple of issues. So first off, after I eat it, not right after, but the next day, I feel a little bit bloated. I always gain a couple of pounds the next day. I think that's from inflammation after eating dairy. And then I also kind of feel a little bit like depressed, a little bit of like mental health symptoms. Just nothing crazy, but just enough where I can notice it. So I avoid the dairy for the most part. Now, if I was to pick a favorite cheese, I would say sharp cheddar. I love cheddar. I also love goat cheese. And what else? I love a good blue cheese from time to time. All right, Ginger is still trying to think of her focus for August. Yes. If you missed the beginning of this live stream, the new August challenge in the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community is figuring out your one item that you would like to focus on for the month of August and committing to it for the entire month. So if you'd like to join the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community, there are links in the description of this live for both free and premium membership. You do not have to pay anything to be a member of this group. But the premium members get lots of extra benefits. My challenge for the month of August is to strength train and walk 3 to 4 days per week. I, had been down caregiving in the hospital in South Carolina for about a month. So I was not able to stay consistent with my workout schedule down there, and I'd like to get back into it. So that is what I am doing. I did a 2-mile walk today. I'm not strength training today because I got a, it's not a peel. It's it's a face treatment. I got a liquid microneedling yesterday and I'm not allowed to work out today. I feel like there's little tiny shards of glass under my flesh. It's so much fun. I talk about it on my Instagram. All right. Lisa, greetings from Southeast Indiana. Hello, we are neighbors. Dale, I ask about potatoes because bitter means poisonous. Sweet potato skins are bitter as hell. Yes, that is a great indicator of the amount of phytotoxins in a plant. So yes, I think that is a good association to make with potatoes. Is there a way to measure the ghrelin hormone? I'm pretty sure I have none. That's a great question. I know you can do leptin. I know you can do fasting insulin. I'm assuming you can do ghrelin. I am not probably pronouncing that correctly. I will have to look that up for you, Jen, because I do not know the answer to that. But what I can do is take a look on ownyourlabs.com and see. Rana, thank you, Jen. I appreciate you so much for always answering my questions anytime. That is what this time is for. Nicole, I am down 40 pounds since December. Is cottage cheese with garden fresh blueberries once a day that bad for you? No, honestly, I don't think that's that bad. Is it technically carnivore? No. But I think it would still be considered keto and it's still whole food. So if you are experiencing success with eating that once a day and you're feeling good, I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't think it's a big deal. Tammy says, I love cottage cheese with fresh fruit every now and then. I can't eat fruit often though, as I will gain weight. So for Tammy, if she was to eat that every day, she might gain some weight. But if you're experiencing success, Nicole, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Mark, talk about coffee and carnivore. So there's lots and lots of different opinions on this topic. I personally drink decaf black coffee. And the reason I do decaf is nothing to do with carnivore. I used to have severe anxiety issues long, long ago. I quit caffeine like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, probably longer than that. I do not suffer from anxiety issues most of the time anymore. Sometimes it pops up a little bit, but nowhere near where I was where I had to quit caffeine. I even had to quit decaf for a time being because there is a little bit of caffeine in it. There are some carnivore experts that think that you should cut the coffee. It is a plant. And a lot of them say that you'll feel better if you cut it. I personally think in the beginning of carnivore, like trying to cut tons of things all at once can make it hard to be successful in carnivore because you're focused on way too much stuff. So I think getting used to the carnivore diet for a couple of months first, and then maybe experimenting with cutting the coffee if you want to. There's plenty of carnivores out there that have success drinking regular or decaf coffee every single day on carnivore. I tried cutting it for a week. I didn't really notice any difference. I probably need to do it for like a month or two, but my husband bought me a Nespresso for Mother's Day and I was like, I have to try some. So that fell through. I was like, honey, I'm just drinking tea right now. He's like, but it's Mother's Day. He wanted it for himself. Let's be real. And it's delightful, but yeah, I think, that's individual. What works best for you. Like so many things in life, you have to figure out what works best for you. I do think if you are going to do coffee though, I like to do it black. I don't like to add a bunch of stuff to it. I always recommend, trying to do the least amount of dairy possible because so many people have inflammatory reactions to it. And there's a lot of people out there that are putting like tons of stuff in their coffee, butter or MCT oil or different things. And if that works for you, awesome. But if you are having issues losing weight or getting a stall, maybe cut down on the heavy cream and all the stuff that you're adding to coffee in general. All right. Lisa says, love your channel, Jenny. Thanks for your enthusiasm and professionalism. As a mother of twin boys and grandmother of twin boys, I am all in for more twin boy content on the channel. Wow, you have lots of twins around you. Head over to the link in the description for Jenny Mitich, etc., my second channel. That is going to be focusing a lot more on my family and the boys and all that kind of stuff. I used to put that stuff originally. This channel was more of a twin mom lifestyle channel, but after it switched over to more carnivore focus, I don't like to muddy the water with like vlog style content and then talking head educational videos and then, carnivore experiments, because then it's too confusing. So I've started the second channel so that I can just focus on content like that. So if you like stuff with the twins, that's where you want to go. The link to that channel is in the description of this live. And I'm releasing the first 2 videos on Saturday, August 10th. So in 10 days, I've already got like 6 or 7 videos ready on that channel. So super, super excited. Dale says, do you eat bacon? There are alternatives to bacon like turkey bacon, beef bacon. I watch Guga make beef bacon. I eat bacon. I eat bacon all the time. I love it. Beef bacon is delightful. Not a big fan of turkey bacon just because it's so dry. I'm not opposed to it. I'll eat it. It's meat. It's fine. But I've made my own bacon once or twice. I have a friend that raises her own pigs. So I would get pork bellies from her and make them in the smoker. It was super fun. I'm going to be revisiting that very soon because I would like to get started on that again. But that is that. Rachel says she's been drinking decaf since November. She had some heart flutters that sent her to the ER. Since starting carnivore 4 months ago, flutters are pretty much gone. That's good. That is very good. Lisa adds a few teaspoons of beef tallow to her diluted decaf coffee. That can be effective. I don't know. Is it Rachel or Rachel? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I drink decaf with a little cream, a tablespoon of butter, and an egg blended in. So people do coffee in lots of different ways. You just have to figure out what works best for you. All right, Judy, I tried to eat I'm assuming you mean potato skins. I tried to eat potato skins and it shot my sugar way up there. I cooked them myself, not from a restaurant, but not good for my blood sugar. That makes sense. It's carbohydrates, even just the skin. And sometimes you just have to do those experiments and see how it works. That's why I love wearing the continuous glucose monitor. I use NutriSense because I'm okay. It's been almost 2 years that I've been wearing it. I'm keeping it on this long just because I'm sharing the data with you guys. I don't think not any non-diabetic doesn't need to wear a continuous glucose monitor for that long. But in the beginning, I ran a lot of different experiments to see how different foods would affect me. And I'm so glad that I did that because now I know what works best for my body. And for a lot of people, carbs, like potatoes, even just the skins, they're going to shoot your blood sugar up. If you want to avoid that, if you would like to have potatoes from time to time, eat the protein you're consuming first. Because if you eat that and then 10 minutes later you eat the carbs in your diet, that's going to blunt the effect of the glucose spike. It's pretty interesting. That is a really easy way to avoid that. Dale uses salt and butter in his coffee, learned it from Ken Berry. Here's a question. Should I taper off carbs and sugar into carnivore or just go cold turkey? Also, electrolytes I hear are good. Any other essentials for beginners? Thank you. Okay, so first off, I would say head over to my channel. And right when you get over there, you're going to see my in-depth reference guide to the carnivore diet. It's for beginners. That's almost an hour-long video. It's going to answer all of those questions and more. So make sure you watch that video. I think you can go either way, either easing into carnivore or going cold turkey. I think you're going to have a much easier time in general if you ease into it. First, by cutting all the ultra processed stuff, the sugar, the vegetable seed oils, all that kind of stuff, and focusing on whole real foods, and then slowly ramping the carbs down over time. So keto flu is a real thing. Keto flu is basically carbohydrate withdrawal. Sugar withdrawal. That's what carbs are. It's real. And yes, electrolytes are, I think, essential in the beginning of carnivore because when you're starting off with the diet, especially if you go cold turkey, you can lose a lot of weight and a lot of that is water weight. And when you're losing water weight, you're losing electrolytes and all your levels can be all over the place. So if you're replacing those, replenishing those, that's really helpful, even if you're not having keto flu symptoms yet, because you kind of want to prevent as much of that as you can. Can't prevent all of it. Some people don't have any keto flu symptoms. Some people it's the worst. Mine was 4 to 6 weeks. So yes, I think you got to figure out what's going on, what's going to be best for you. If you have a vacation or a wedding or a big work thing coming up, I would not recommend going cold turkey into carnivore because that first month it can be hard for some people. But yeah, check out that in-depth guide to the carnivore diet video. That's going to have a ton of good tips and things for you. Tammy, do you talk about all the skincare products and treatments you regularly do on your Insta account? I know you use Karam's products. I love him. Your skin is amazing. Thank you so much. Yes. On Instagram, I talk about all of that stuff all the time. And on the Jenny Mitich Etc. channel, my second channel that I was just talking about, I'm going to be going into that a lot more because I'm obsessed with skincare. I love getting different treatments and I do a lot of different things. I do on my main channel, on this channel, I have a full video of my skincare routine, over 40 skincare. So check out that video if you're interested in all that stuff. I also talk about the makeup that I use when I'm filming videos and some lifestyle stuff that can help with skin for free. So, all right. Dale says, show me a moist turkey and I'll show you a wizard. It can't be done. It can be done. It can be done. In my holiday recipe video, we spatchcock turkeys and cook them low and slow, and they turn out delightful. Delightful. Patty, my blood work came in and it wasn't good. Insulin and A1C went up. Okay, send me a message in the group and send me the results and we'll take a look at it and we'll have a chat, okay? I want to see what's going on there. See, Jen says she's made many moist turkeys. How is carnivore and your A1C? Will it decrease? If that is directed towards me, over time, yes, in general, your A1C, your blood glucose numbers will decrease. It's dependent on so many things, though. But yes, in general, some people, this happened to me. I saw my A1C go up for a time being on carnivore. It was as high as 5.7, and then it settled back down, and it's currently at 5.3. I just got blood work results back from, I got blood work done on July 3rd, and it just now came back yesterday because I did a new test. I did this omega check test that checks for all of the, EPA, DHA, and all that kind of stuff. And that test took forever to process. But I will be sharing my latest blood work numbers here. I'm going to be filming that video in the next couple of weeks, so probably in August. But yeah, in general, A1C will decrease over time. Sometimes it can increase for a time being. There's some theories as to why that happens. Some carnivore experts think that your red blood cells live longer, so that would cause the, I guess, artificial rising in A1C. That could be. I don't know that there's any good science behind that, any proof, but that's kind of a theory. Also, for different races out there, sometimes there's differences in A1C. So A1C isn't always the end all be all most accurate indicator of metabolic health. That's why I like to take it along with a whole bunch of other blood work numbers, scans, all the, how you feel, lots of different things to kind of get a better picture of metabolic health. I don't want to look at just one marker, A1C or LDL cholesterol or whatever, and just see it on its own, because you have to see it within the context of everything else that's going on in there. Okay, let's see here. Lauren says, love you, Jenny, at a red light, LOL. Well, thank you for waiting for a red light to say hello. I appreciate your safety. Lots and lots and lots of comments here about turkey and keeping it moist. We started a whole thing. I love that. Yeah, brining for a turkey, if you want to keep it moist, is essential. My husband loves brining. Dale asks, I love pineapple. What would be a good substitute for pineapple? I don't think there is a substitute. I mean, pineapple is pineapple. I mean, on carnivore, there is no substitute, just because you're not really eating any fruit or anything like that. If you're saying pineapple for use in a ham or in a turkey, I think that's once a year. It's not the end of the world if you're going to have some pineapple. Dale says, does pineapple eat the lining of your stomach? That's one, when you mentioned pineapple, I was trying to think if that was one of the fruits that had higher oxalates, because sometimes when you eat it, it kind of has that zing to it. But that is, that's a good question. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that question. Lauren says, tallow anti-aging by Stone and Spear is amazing, and so is their soaps. Dr. Chafee is a part of it too. Yes, that's an excellent brand. That is an excellent brand. I have a brand, Serena from Carnivore Revolution is sending me a bunch of her purely tallow products. So I'm going to be trying those out. I am looking for a good hand cream. My hands are always so dry because I wash my hands all the time because of the boys. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle. All right, guys, get your final questions into this stream, because I will be ending in just a couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes. Any final questions? Any final success stories? Anything like that? Lauren says, Dr. Abe's, am I saying that right? And Bart K did a great video today. You should check it out. Yes, I will have to do that. I have so many videos in my watch later list. When I was driving back and forth from South Carolina, it's about a 12-hour drive, and I watched so much content. Got caught up with so many things, but I still have so much more. All right, let's go to this one right here. Golf Addict says, 33 days into carnivore and I lucked out. Not 1 minute of keto flu. I've lost 23 pounds. I feel freaking great. Thank you, carnivore. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you, because keto flu is terrible. It's horrible. Ugh. All right, Lisa, have you ever heard of histamine intolerance being an issue on carnivore? 10 weeks in and doing great, except for 3 weeks ago when hives appeared on my arms. I quit pickles and bacon and it's cleared up. Yes, histamine intolerance can be an issue on carnivore. And but other than that, I mean, skin things can pop up on your skin when you are doing carnivore is basically an elimination diet, and who knows what's coming up. Some people get acne, but then it clears up. Some people have flare-ups of their rosacea, psoriasis, things like that. Some people get patches of dryness. There's so many different things. But I'm glad that you were able to determine that bacon and pickles, you cut those and the hives went away. I would say give your body a bit more time to heal, maybe a few more weeks to a month, and then try bacon again just on its own for a few days and see if things pop up again. And if they do, cut it again. And then do the same thing with pickles and just kind of see. Because I don't think that will, be an issue forever. Maybe it will, but for a lot of people it's not. You just have to do some gut healing and then it'll be okay. Tina asks, what is your go-to for curbing sugar cravings? So it's very rare that I have a sugar craving anymore. I think time is the number one thing. I know that's kind of sucks because you just have to wait out a lot of it. The second one would be eating until you are full, comfortably stuffed at every single meal so that you are not wanting any more food. That I think is the biggest thing. A lot of people use extra fat in their diet to help with sugar cravings. A lot of people use salt, using a little bit of salt on the tongue or just adding some more salt, some salt water, things like that. That can help. Cutting artificial sweeteners, if you are continuing to use them, that can be a huge thing because that is activating that part in your brain that is wanting sugar because it mimics the effects of sugar. So if you're using any kind of artificial sweeteners, cut those. And then when you have a sugar craving, instead of going for something with sugar, eat a carnivore snack. I don't typically do snacking a lot on carnivore. I'm eating 2-3 meals tops per day in my version of carnivore. But if you are having a craving and it just won't go away, go eat a hard-boiled egg, eat some beef jerky, eat something, eat something carnivore so that you're taking care of that, I want to eat feeling, but you're not succumbing to the sugar craving. And then over time, that will improve. That will improve with time. Like I said, I'm now in month 20 of carnivore, and I don't really worry about sugar cravings anymore. Guga completely dissolved a steak in pineapple. That's why I think it's real. Yeah, I mean, if he can completely dissolve a steak in pineapple juice, that is not good. All right. Lauren also did not have keto flu. 8 months in, feels amazing. Happy early birthday to you. This is a great question. We've been talking about oxalates a lot in this live. How bad are oxalates in almond milk? I'm lactose intolerant and I like almond the best, but worry about the oxalates. Almonds are one of the highest oxalate foods you can consume. So, yeah, I would avoid those if you can. But if you are eating or drinking a lot of the almond milk, you don't want to just go cold turkey off of it. You would want to replace it with something else, a lower oxalate fruit or vegetable. Then your body can start to clear out the oxalates that have built up in your system. I highly recommend getting Sally Norton's book, Toxic Superfoods. I'll link it in the description after we get off this live. It's such a good book on oxalates, and it will give you everything you need to figure out how you can switch away from that. Okay, I wasn't going to ask till after your experiment, but what do you think of upping protein and fat grams versus calories for weight loss for someone who still has a lot of weight to lose? I mean, I think that it can be done for sure. I mean, I've been playing around with calories and grams of protein for a long time now, trying to figure out what will be the best solution, So yeah, you could give it a shot. For some people, even at like 2000 calories, 2300 calories, they're still under eating. I think it's very complicated. And I think, yeah, you could experiment with it, but you don't want to just do it for a couple of days and then be like, oh, it didn't work. You got to do it for a few weeks to kind of see if it's really having an effect of any kind. That's where I think that writing things down in a journal. So every day, kind of like at the end of the day, write, okay, here's kind of what I ate. Here's a estimate of the calories and the protein. The next day, wake up, here's how I slept. I slept good. The scale showed I was down a pound. Do that for a few weeks, up a pound, down a pound, whatever. Just take notes. And then you're going to start to identify patterns because we can't remember all that stuff, You got to write it down. And a notebook is best because then you're really, invested in it. And then you can start to identify some of those patterns that are going on. So yeah, I think it can be done for sure. Sunshine, can a carnivore lifestyle help heal liver disease? Your videos are so helpful and motivating. Thank you. You're very welcome. And yeah, I think it can help for sure. I know for me, I never had liver disease or anything like that, but a big indicator of liver health is visceral fat levels and lowering the amount of visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that's inside of your body cavity. It's not the stuff you can pinch. That's subcutaneous. The visceral fat's inside, and you want to have that at a pretty low level. It's a really great indicator of metabolic health. And for me, I went from 2.24 pounds of visceral fat down to 0.71 pounds I'm currently at, which is a super healthy amount of visceral fat to have. 2.24 pounds wasn't that big of a deal. It was okay, but 0.71 is better. So yeah, I think it can heal liver disease. It helps lower inflammation. It helps lower blood glucose levels. It helps take the burden off of your kidneys and your liver, and helps them to get back to health. So sure, I think it can help. All right, we have a couple more questions here, and then it is time. It is time to go. All right. I like this comment. Tina Lee says, try the A2 milk. It is good for lactose intolerance. That is a good suggestion for sure. There's also lactose-free milk that I've seen at the grocery store. Mark says, wife said oxalates equal kidney stones. Yes. Yes, they do. That is true. And sometimes if you've been consuming really, really high oxalate for a long time and then you go straight into carnivore, you can get kidney stones. So I've had people talk about I got kidney stones after I started carnivore. It's not the carnivore that caused the kidney stones. It's the oxalate dumping that then it's already in there. That's, again, Sally Norton, Toxic Superfoods. Excellent, excellent book. All right, guys, this was an amazing live stream. I'm going to be doing another one of these hopefully next week. And if you would like to join in the August challenge, be sure to head to the description of this video and get signed up for the Jenny Mitich Carnivore Community. And with that, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you very soon. Have a wonderful day.